What 3 burning questions would you ask God or another ultimate authority?
WTAF would be high on my list. No, what did
it's hard for people who don't think in terms of an ultimate authority. I think I'll just speak for myself, but I saw that question before I read it to you. So I had a couple more minutes to think about it, but I think it's very hard for people who don't think in those terms to imagine what that world would be where there was someone to ask. There are things that, that I'm interested in knowing for sure, but I think a world in which there was an ultimate authority who was askable, or even one who wasn't askable, would be such a different world that the questions would inherently be different, I think.
Well, so here's how I solve the problem of not believing that there is such an authority and therefore not having the right mindset. It is possible, I admit that it is possible, that we are inside a simulation. I find it very unlikely, but possible that this could be the product of a simulation and that it would have all of the characteristics that we have, our subjective experience of the universe, and either we all have a subjective experience which is inside the simulator, or it would have to be just me otherwise, and the rest of you are, there for whatever auxiliary purpose. Again, I think this is super unlikely to be right, either of those. But if I suddenly was in an interview room and the programmer of the simulator was there, right? What would I ask? I would ask.
Okay, good.
I'm not sure I have 3, but I've got 2. One is, what were you trying to accomplish? What was the simulator for?
Oh, yeah.
I want to know what it was for.
But again, that doesn't make sense in the world that you and I understand ourselves to live in.
Right.
That's not a question.
If there was the equivalent of a God who had done this intentionally, what was your intent? What was that for? Were you trying to see if the evolutionary tape runs the same way multiple times? Were you looking into the souls of people that you had created to see how they would solve moral conundrums? What was it? What was it for?
Good.
That's one. Mm-hmm. The other would be, how does free will work? How is this not a completely deterministic system? How did you get that in there?
Show me your code, man.
I do believe it's there.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it's there. And I know I have to go somewhere over to Heisenberg's uncertainty principle and imagine that something there propagates up through the whole system and means that when a lynx chases a rabbit, the outcome is uncertain. I want to know those 2 things. What was it for, and how did it would be uninteresting if the entire thing was deterministic from the beginning, so surely it wasn't.
Yeah.
How did you get the thing not to be deterministic?
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I'm not going to add to that.
And the third one is WTAF.
Oh, right, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you'd talk that way to God? You'd use that language?
Oh, I don't think he would respect me if I didn't.
Yes, he would.
No, he built this fucking thing. And the fact that I feel like that's the way to talk to the guy, that I have a strong sense that that's the right...
that kind of argument does get a person out of a lot of scrapes with God, doesn't it?
I mean...
You hadn't wanted me to do this, you wouldn't have built the capacity for me to do this. Yeah, that's cheating.
It reminds me of a joke that my father used to tell.
Okay. Good. Happy birthday lessons.
Yeah, indeed, if you're watching. A child is guilty of some absolutely heinous crime, and his father goes to the prison to talk to him, and he says, "How could you end up this way?" And the child says, "Some combination of heredity and environment." Pretty good joke.
Yep. And your father told you this joke.
He did tell me that joke. Okay. Yeah.
And wonders why you became a biologist.
I don't know what he wonders, but...
No.